All right, y'all. Billy and the Permaculture Princess over here, or Homestead Honey, or Michelle, whichever she prefers today.
Michelle is good.
She likes Permaculture Princess.
No, she doesn't.
Yeah, we're going to make her a tiara out of some of the harvest we get here. We're going to have beets hanging from her head and all that. Does that sound? We'll make some earrings. Coordinate. Anyway, we're out here in the high tunnel, and this is a work in progress. We're doing a lot of good stuff right now. Just got finished doing the animals, moving everybody. Favorite part of every day I do. And here we are, and we got a little bit of a harvest. We got actually more harvest than we can handle right now. And a lot of you out there know exactly what we're talking about. Bumper crop of strawberries out there, more than we could possibly deal with. And we talked before about how we're going to deal with some of that. Also, with that freeze dryer, we can freeze dry a whole lot like we did last year. That thing has been something of a lifesaver. And also for some of these other crops that we have a lot of, freeze dryers really, really help. And especially if you're going to put it away for any period of time. But the star of the show today is what?
Beets.
Beets. What else are we getting?
Garlic scapes. We're not getting garlic scapes in here, though. Out of this bed, we're just going to harvest beets.
Right. So why don't you tell them the anatomy, what we're dealing with here. We got the beet in the ground.
We've got a couple different kinds of beets. Cylindra, and then some golden beets. I think there's some Detroit beets in here, but we're just going to harvest them. You can eat the tops, but we probably won't eat that many. So we're going to feed them to the sheep and the chickens, and then pickle, and then just can some also.
So this is what you're saying. This is about the only real good thing coming out of Detroit right now. Anyway, we're going to get hopping and popping. I'm out here eating some of my breakfast here. Here's what's cool, y'all. When you eat stuff directly from your garden, you're getting, if it's a good place and they got a good home, all those microorganisms that are beneficial to your gut are right here on these leaves and right there down in that beet. So you want me to start right here, or are you going to go ahead and get it?
No, you can get it.
Yeah, go ahead and show them how you get it up, honey. Look, while she's over there getting that, y'all, here's what time it is.
You a billy goat?
Mm-hmm. That's right. Are we putting them all in this flat?
Yeah, we can.
Oh, this looks like a radish. That's what I'm talking about, and that took, all of like a minute to get this up? So you can't complain about that, but what are we going to do with them, Michelle? That's the most important thing.
All right, so we're going to can them, and then we're going to pickle some.
Now, when I was a kid, y'all, you couldn't give... She's laughing because we just had this conversation yesterday. You could not give me a beet because the way I grew up, we ate pretty much everything out of boxes and cans. I didn't even know what real food was until I met her. And so, yeah, that's been quite the journey and one that I love. Okay, so I hated beets because they all came out of cans. They tasted awful. I hated them. Every Christmas, we'd have these pickled beets and eggs, and they just were awful. And then the first time I ever had a fresh beet, the first time she gave it to me, and I was kicking and scratching the whole way. And it was honestly one of my favorite things to eat. So I could probably eat them like an apple these days. What are you laughing about? What's so funny? What?
Your food experiences.
Yeah. Well, for me...
or lack of food experiences.
Yeah, see, what she grew up eating real food, growing up where she did, they ate real food. We didn't. And so the transition was extraordinary. So if you have kids out there that initially don't like a certain thing, they might honestly love it. If all they ever had came from the store, believe me, they select those things on the basis of what?
How long they're going to last through the shipping process, not flavor, not nutrition, but is this going to last through the shipping and the amount of time it's going to sit on the store, like the grocery store shelves. But also, another thing I wanted to mention about beets, we're going to can them, but you could also freeze dry them. You could use your freeze dryer to make them into a powder and add it to your smoothies for like, it's a good recovery for like sports nutrition. So that's another option. We probably won't do that. We'll probably just can them.
She knows what she's talking about. Show them them arms, honey.
Flex on them, Mom.
Come on. Put that
Flex
out there,
on
honey. No. Yeah, this woman's hard as woodpecker lips. So Eric Sider, go check out his channel. All the shirts and stuff, a lot of the shirts we wear, we get from him. Yeah. And he actually sent me a recipe on how you can make nitric oxide out of a lot of this stuff. And that's a good way of doing it. So when she's talking about recovery, that's part of it. But yeah, woman, you're as hard as woodpecker lips. You know it too. All right, so we got this. We're going to put it over here, and then let's go see about... And then, hey, y'all, here's one of the cool things we're going to do in this video. We're going to give you a brief snapshot of what we do with it. Like all these greens, okay, we're only going to eat so much. Like I said, I'm eating some right now. What else are we going to do with them?
Well, yeah, we're only going to eat so much. You could really probably freeze dry your beet greens and add those to a smoothie too. Powder them and add them to a smoothie. We'll probably feed them to the chickens and the sheep.
Yeah, so we'll also take some of these greens and add them to some ham hocks that I got sitting up there. I'm going to smoke. Hey, y'all, if you have a favorite beet recipe or anything with what we're dealing today, by all means, please leave it down below. I'm sure everybody in this community, especially me, would absolutely enjoy it. All right, we're going to move on to the next thing. All right, while she's getting that garlic scape, let's just talk about what's going on here, y'all. We've talked about it before. We got an ocean of strawberries, okay? And I got some right here. Comfrey's growing out of the middle of it. We got yarrow right here. And look over here, blueberry. Everybody seems to think that there should be a distinct part where something stops and something starts. And I know you're seeing green on green for it, so it's hard for you to understand that. As permaculture designers, we see it totally different. All of this stuff can grow in concert, the blueberry. And then just as a little side note to let you know, some of the things that are acid loving are growing with things that shouldn't be acid loving, and they're both doing well. Huh, maybe we got some more bad info there.
We got some lavender growing right here.
Yep, it all grows hand in hand. It grows like the fingers of your hand. So as she's pulling out these garlic scapes, we're also getting the other harvest of other things we can get as well. And then if we want, we can chop and drop this comfrey and throw it right down on that tree. The homestead honey's over here getting more of these garlic scapes. We got quite a few of them in here, very garlicky. Look what else we got in here. Bam! Strawberries. Would you like some strawberries? That's what I'm talking about. As fresh as it gets, straight down there in the food forest. Got a ton of them. And you're telling me we barely touched them, right?
Yeah, I still have quite a bit to pick.
There's still a bunch down there, so that's a good problem to have. And those will be freeze-dried. Now, with these garlic scapes, what exactly are you going to make with this?
We're going to make a pesto with them. So instead of basil, you just add your garlic scapes to it.
So what else is going to be in there? Pine nuts or something like that?
No, it's just, not in the recipe that I found. It's just olive oil, Parmesan, and salt and pepper and garlic scapes.
See, now here's the quandary you get into when you have massive harvests like this, and this is where that freeze dryer comes in handy. I know it's not in the price range for a lot of folks, especially these days, but if you need one, we got one down below. It helps. You can also can them. There's a whole, you can make jams, jellies.
Jam.
Yeah, a whole bunch of stuff you can do with it. So now that you're going to go ahead and you're going to fill this thing up right now, and then we're going to go ahead and take the tops that we're not going to eat because everybody gets a piece of the harvest out here.
The tops of what?
The tops of those beets. Doggone it, has something fly right in my eye, but that's what it is. So anyway, the tops of those beets, we're going to keep what we want, and then we're going to share it a little bit. We'll show you that in a minute. All right, y'all. So I also want to point out to another little experiment we came up with. William came up with a derivation of it last year, and Michelle decided to go ahead and run with something else. So obviously we got the garlic going up in here, but what do you see there in between? Comfrey, okay? So by the time that this garlic is ready to harvest, here's the cool idea. This is why she's the homestead honey, is because right about the time we're going to be harvesting this comfrey, this garlic, we're going to harvest all this comfrey at the same time because they're all down in there, so we can get those comfrey roots off. We can take off the leaves as we want or we need them, and we can feed them over there to our animals. But at the same time, when we go to pull those roots up, and it's also what goes into that comfrey salve, we got, some of the roots that go into that. Depends on where the allotonin is that time of the year. But we'll pull these up, get that garlic out, and at the same time take the comfrey out. I think it's a fantastic idea. So far, the experiment is going off without a hitch. Either one, not one is affected by the other. So think about those cool symbiotic experiences or experiments that you can do at your own place. All right, here's what we got so far. More strawberries than we can possibly count at this point. Garlic scapes out the wazoo. And of course, you know what that's going to be made into. Oh yeah, beets. And then we're going to eat, you know, we can keep these greens back right here that we're going to eat. And they're about as fresh as you can possibly hope for. Not bitter, not anything. And then because we are permaculture designers, we always leave some back for nature or for our animals. And in this case, I got a whole bunch of tops here that I ram up the hills that absolutely gonna love. Let's go give it to them. He'll come back to it. He's already been grubbing this morning. As soon as we get out of here, he'll probably get to it. Look, y'all, here's the beauty about all this. Not only do we get a harvest, the wildlife we want gets a harvest, our animals get a harvest. If we had pigs, we'd give it to them. The chickens would eat it if they didn't already eat. Everybody's pretty much eating this morning, but he'll get around to this, I guarantee. Just like the comfrey that we dump out here before him, it won't be here by close of business today. I guarantee it. Look, y'all, if you need anything from us, hopefully this video has been a blessing to you. The comfrey, bone sauce, world's best deer repellent. We got it all at the website. Anything else you might need, check us out down below. Till next time, this is Billy on behalf of the Homestead Honey from Perma Pastures Farm, where permaculture is our passion. We'll see y'all next time.